Good afternoon and welcome to More Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we're going to be talking about the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 120, the Cobra Night Stinger 4x4. Oh yeah, I finally got it in the mail with a lot of other people over the past few weeks. It's been coming in all over the place. That was the front of the box I was showing you, for those of you who can't see, and here is the back of the box. Yeah, it's a big box. Not as big as the his tank, but still pretty large. Pretty nice size box. This is now 2 boxes of this size that we've gotten with G.I. Joe Classified Series for the Vamp and the Night Stinger, respectively. Respectively? Yes, respectfully. Respectively, yeah. Messing that up every single time. So first off, I'll go over these blast effects so we can get them out of the way. They're the same exact blast effects that we got with Scrap Iron and Anti-Armor Drone. They're really fun blast effects, but there's not much difference in these that I can feel. I don't know if they're different colors or not. I hope they're not different colors so that they will mesh well with the other blast effects that we got with the Scrap Iron and Anti-Armor Drone. We get 2 of these 45-degree angle explosions, like a missile just literally shot down and hit the ground. And these are, one is longer than the other one weighs more than the other one, and that's just about it for them. There's not much difference. We also get 2 of these blast effects that are the rocket exhaust effects that we got with Scrap Iron and Anti-Armor Drone. So a short one and a long one. Though with the missiles here, they do fit differently, but we'll talk about that when we get to the missiles in today's video. And finally, we get 1 of each of this really interesting round piece that has a bunch of smoke texture to it and some little explosion fires. And you can have that as if it's a missile strike that happened just a few moments ago. So the smoke is still billowing up and there's still like fire on the edges, but for the most part, that explosion's done. And then we got the dust. I think that's the best way I call it, the dust one, where you can set that behind the wheel of one of your vehicles to have it spitting out and causing a bunch of dust to come up behind the wheels. Now that I have a second one, it's going to look really nice. We can balance our Vamp or our Night Stinger whatever way we want to with those blast effects. But those are the blast effects that come with this set. Not too bad in my opinion. Decent blast effects. I do wish we had gotten some of the ones that are for normal G.I. Joe figures, some more of the smoke effects, for instance, or a few more of those explosion effects that you can plug into guns. I think those have been fun. Even the laser effects. I really like the laser effects. So, today's video is going to be about the review of this product. We're going to go in depth, hands-on, and we're going to talk about every inch of texturing that we can possibly talk about within the time frame of the video, where we will save all comparisons and all contrasts to tomorrow's video, where I'm going to bring out the Vamp in the his tank and a few other G.I. Joe classified vehicles and do a little size comparison. Not a big one. We saved the big size comparisons, and I'm talking about bringing in the HasLab Sentinel and the Black Series TIE Fighter and those things for the bigger things. So when the Dragonfly comes out, prepare to see a video with those guys included, because those guys are a hassle to get out and set up with everything, so I just leave them for the bigger vehicles. That's why it feels more special. Yeah, I like it when it feels more special. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind, please go below and hit the like, share, subscribe button, do all the things everyone else asks you to do, and leave me a comment. What do you think of the box art? Because, I don't know. It isn't like I can lay my eyes upon it. So if you could tell me what the box art looks like, that would be swell. I'd love that. All right, so let's get into the size comparison of this real quick with a Cobra Infantry, because in my head, this is now the Infantry's vehicle. This is what the Cobra Infantry roll around in. My saddest regret is that you can't put more. You can't put 5 on here. You can only put 4. So driver, officer, and then the 2 corporals, and your private's just left with jogging beside the vehicle. He's going to be the guy that pulls all the trees out of the way and stuff like that. That's what I'm going with in my head, at least. So because the driver's definitely an officer, he gets to take care of it. Anyway. Here we go, little comparison. Set that guy there in front of the door, which we'll talk about, because I love these doors. And we see that the roof of the vehicle is not quite, but almost at the same height as the Cobra Infantry here, with his helmet on. Let's see, with his helmet off, we get a comparison that is, I'd say even more so equal. So yeah, the helmet does change it just slightly, and they did account for that for the interior of this vehicle, and we'll get into that when we talk about the interior of the vehicle. Don't let me forget. Now, moving over here to the front, see, that's the biggest change in, that's the biggest size difference. Actually, the other big size, because everything else is size-wise is Vamp. Let's move it over here. And I've got two guys on the back, so we'll leave our Cobra guy here for comparisons for a second, and we'll take off our two that we have on the back. I wanted to showcase that you could put two figures back here. We can actually pull it forwards a bit. Ba-ba. There we go. I think it looks cool that there's two in the back. I just wish that there was some sort of guardrail or handrail or something so that we could actually have a point to connect them to with their hands. So we can take each of these guys off, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay them down, because here at Blind_Prime, we're always knocking things over, so we preemptively knock them over by knocking them over in a controlled manner, aka setting them down carefully. Okay, with those guys gone, let's go ahead and initiate the rockets, because you can't really push the rockets to their nuts. I did it wrong. This is a really stiff ratchet joint inside of the rockets. They did take into mind some of the complaints that we had about the Vamp and fixed it with this particular weapon system. I really appreciate that. But once you get the weapon system initiated, let's bring out our Cobra Infantry now. And he stands, let's bring him to the back. He can walk underneath these rockets. I think that's really nice. Also, it means that the exhaust jet's going to hit the top of his helmet, and he has a chance to hide. What's up, Cream? Huh? You want to give me loves, or you just laying down? You're just laying down? Yeah. You're laying down on blast effects and things I'm going to talk about later in the video. Yes, you are. All right. That's a little comparison of the size of that. Let's go ahead and spin it around to the back and give you another comparison with our friend Cobra Infantry in the back of the van. Look at that. I love it. I love how this is. I've been saying Vamp. Stinger. Now I got Vamp in my head. Stinger. I love how the Stinger comes together and how that Cobra Infantry, how it scales with the Cobra Infantry very well. Like I said, I personally believe this is a Cobra Infantry vehicle, and that's what it will always be for me. The Cobra, the bats can walk or ride the his tank, but the Cobra Infantry is going to be riding in style. Now, let's come over here. We will talk about this vehicle. We could talk about it front to back, or we can go ahead and get the missiles out of the way. We'll get the missiles out of the way so I can pull this piece off and just not worry about it knocking it over midway through the vehicle, midway through the video. Man, my tongue is, we're on like take number 6 for today, so excuse my tongue. This thing's got the ability to go 90 degrees in each direction, or you can say that it can face downwards and then go 180 degrees to face upwards. It's pretty cool that it does that. It's on a ratchet. I do enjoy the ratchet, so click. So from there, in its total vertical position where they're facing directly upwards, that's 1 click. We get 2 clicks. Now it's at a almost a 45. 3 clicks, it's a little past a 45-degree angle. 4 clicks, it's now at 90. And then 5 clicks, it's now facing down at like a 45-degree angle. And then 6 clicks, it is at a facing directly downwards, and then that's bad. Unless, of course, you're like at the edge of a cliff and you're trying to shoot downwards. So I appreciate the fact that we have a chance to play around with these. Now, these missiles by themselves they're not pushovers. They're bigger than the missiles we got with anti-armor drone. And I told you I was done with Cobra Infantry, but I'm not quite, because we're going to talk about this this missile right here. We're going to set it next to him. The missile goes up just past his elbow, midway up his upper arm is how tall the missile is from its its reactor all the way up to its tip. Its exhaust to its tip, that's the height of it. Thank you, Cobra Infantry. I think you're done now. Okay, and it's got one of those herringbone connectors. Oh my God, why do I keep wanting to say herringbone? Herringbone connectors is what it has right here. And this herringbone connector is really fun. It connects like it does with everything else. And interestingly enough, I've discovered with these missiles that you can't flip it around. It only connects in one way. And that makes me wonder about other things that we've acquired in this set. series if I haven't, if I need to just spin them around or something. And I will be doing that in our compare and contrast video tomorrow. It comes with 4 of these missiles. They're really nice and sleek. They feel kind of weird, like an earthworm, in the sense of, an earthworm has that spot midway through its body that's a bit thicker than the rest of it. That's what this has, a thin nose that tapers up, and then it gets really thick for a moment and has these little thick fins around it, and then it gets thin again and goes to the rear area where it stays at the same girth all the way down. It's just that center area, like an earthworm, is thick. And that's all 4 of the missiles. They're all the same in that regard. The piece they connect to is really neat. I appreciate the fact that they decided to do away with the piece, with the top piece and then the middle piece. See that middle piece was not working too well because the machine guns could spin, but it could spin, everything could spin, but nothing could stay connected. Making it just this bottom piece and changing how that connection works, and possibly making it taller, the dot or the connection pin taller on the back of the Night Stinger. I keep wanting to say Striker, Night Stinger. Maybe it actually helped out as well. We'll learn more about that in the comparison video. But I'm going to set the rockets off to the side. We're done with those for a little while. We don't need to talk about those anymore. Now let's go ahead and talk about this thing as a whole. Let's do a comparison of its length. We've got our handy dandy Lego pad, and it is not. The Lego pad is definitely not up for the job. But the Lego pad is up for the job of explaining its height in a more determinable manner. There we go. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so 20 studs is its height. Pretty good in my opinion, but that's all we need that guy for. Around here on the back, we've got this cool bumper. It's made of corrugated steel. It feels like it's a graded corrugated pattern. That way mud can drop off the boots and stuff. The hitch is hidden underneath the bumper area, which is really nice. I like that. That's a nice little touch. This thing can actually be removed and most likely replaced on the vamp. We'll learn about that in tomorrow's compare video. We got over here, same wheels, same back area as the vamp. And then over here to the middle area, we've got this amazing door. It's got some rivets on it. It feels like there may be a Cobra symbol right in this section because there's rivets surrounding this big flat area, and I hope there's a really fun paint job there. These are gull wing doors, which means that you can come down here and take your fingertips. At the bottom of the door, there's this little piece that folds over to, it pops up from the door and goes down. And then on the other side, it pops up and goes down. They feel like little fangs for a snake. I think that may be what they're styled around. But you can take your, for me, it's my first finger and my third finger, and I can pull them up. I do not advise just taking your finger and pulling one of them up by itself, because you may break that if you're not distributing the weight equally. Please don't break your collectibles. Don't break your toys. Please be careful with them and open the gull wing door appropriately, not lazily. And inside we've got a Cobra officer hanging out in the passenger seat. But I wanted to showcase the inside of this door. It's not as well textured as the outside, but it still does have some textures. The inside of the grate feels like smooth metal. We've got some more textures coming down here. They actually added some little etching into the door panel for the inside door panel there. Feels kind of nice. I think it would have been nice if we had gotten a speaker texture happening. Are you using my elbow to pet yourself? Yeah. He's so craved for attention. He's using my elbow as a petting ability. I could pet myself if you just leave your elbow still. All right, so on the edges of this door, we've got more riveting. And then, of course, we have these 2 latch pieces that do connect down there. All right, that's the side of the door. The rest of this vehicle frame on this side is the same as the vamp, even down to the rear view mirrors. Now, moving over to the front, which, tells me that the company they buy, the G.I. Joe team buys the vamp from, is also the company that the Cobra team buys their Night Striker from. Reminds me of that company in Mobile Suit Gundam that sold to both Xeon and the Federation forces in Gundam Zeta. It's Anaheim Electronics. Yeah, it sounds like Anaheim Electronics to me. Now, over here on the front, we've got the same little shovel position, but this time, and I'm going to speed it up a bit because we don't have much interest in talk about, but this we do have to talk about. It's a solid shovel. They actually got a better plastic. It's the first non-rubbery shovel we've gotten in G.I. Joe Classified series that I know of. Outback shovel was rubbery. The Vamp shovel was rubbery. The Night Striker's shovel is solid, and I love it. It's the same shovel, though. So moving over here to the front, we've got a interesting piece that replaced the front floodlight section, though the cut in the plastic is still there because this is just the same exact front as the Vamp. And these are some fun spikes that attach to that front wraparound grill area, and these spikes will puncture Joes, I assume, who have foolish enough to get in the way of this Cobra Night Stinger, and it's going to hurt. And I do like these spikes. They're pretty big, each one of the spikes. Let's bring out Lego Pad and see how big these spikes are. There we go. There's our little size comparison bit. Slide that in and there. These spikes are 1, 2, 3 studs long. The longest spikes are 3 studs long. The shortest spikes are 2 studs long. For a 6-inch figure, 3 studs long is nothing to joke about. That's pretty big. Actually, as a little comparison, let's see how big that is on this guy's foot. Okay, so 3 studs on his foot is 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and that is right there. So that is most of the way up his boot. That means that this guy isn't 3 studs thick. That spike is going through a regular person. That is terrifying. That is a scary thing to have flying at you at God knows what speed, because you know these people don't follow speed limits. Cobra don't follow no speed limits. Anyway, another thing that's different is on the hood. We've got, instead of the multiple different things we had for the Vamp, we actually have this crazy big turbo feeling charged engine. We got this weird feeling thing in the center that feels like it may spin, and we've got little bits on either side. Of course, the hood does open quite easily, and then in here we've got an engine that we can remove. Kinda. It's hard to remove. I'm gonna have to get out some tools or something to try and get this guy to remove. I do wish the engine was a bit different, a little easier to remove, a little easier to get your fingers around or something. Maybe even have like a little plastic bit that's stuck up that you could do something with. But it's still cool that there is an engine in there, and that engine can be removed. Now, that is everything different on the Vamp, that texture-wise, from the Vamp, texture-wise on the Stinger here. The big differences are the doors and the roof here. Now let's talk about the roof section, and I knocked something over back here. Nope, I didn't. Cool. We could talk about the roof by actually peeling the roof off, and we're going to go ahead and do that and explain to you how you can both peel it off and put it on. So take your thumbnail here, because when the doors are sealed and the roof is sealed, this guy is solid. Just beautiful, sleek, truck-feeling chassis. I love it. He's just so much fun in my hands. Anyway, you want to try and pull on the window and bring that down. So the best way to get the window is feel in the center with your thumbnail and just drag it down. Then you can come up in here and you can kind of pop these sections up. They may take a bit of strength and a little doing. It doesn't like to pop up too much. I found the best way to do it is to get in here and actually go right at the joint. So you want to pop that out with the joint. There it is, there, and there. Okay, there's that spot, and we can actually break this guy down. If we can get these other pieces removed, hopefully not break anything. We're not trying to break things here. We're just trying to take our toy apart. There it goes. All right, you got to be a little careful because these are really, really tight C-grips, but once you get them off, they are wonderfully elastic to allow you to do that. And the lid isn't lid. The roof is really nice. It's got some connectors and to make it stable. It's also got a lot of headroom. It actually cuts up and in to allow your Cobra figures that you have inside to be, well taken care of. Now we can take up the doors, and we can also peel them off because they have the same connectors as the floodlights. Okay, so we can We doing this right. There it goes. We got that guy off. What fell out? What fell? Oh. All right, so that's one door removed, and we can remove the other door. All right. All right, we can remove this other door, can't we? Yeah. Got to rotate it all the way around. Got to get it in the right spot, okay? It doesn't want to remove, but it's okay. We don't need to remove the other door to talk about the doors or how to put them on. All right, it's my advice to you that you put the lid of this vehicle on. If you've taken your doors off, the lid is easy to put together. You just have to line up these little edges, and you just kind of set it in there and pop it with your thumbs, and then pop it with your forefingers as your thumbs are sitting on two of the joints and your forefingers are sitting on the other two. That's going to leave a section in the middle that you can put the doorway into. And these guys don't get oh crap handles, but they do get this door that pops in. All right. And of course, popping all this stuff down means that I'm going to have a difficult time getting the figures out. But we don't need to get the Cobra officer out. We just need to get the infantry out. So let's go ahead and showcase popping this door in, because it is not a fun process. There it goes. All right, you in there, just Mr. Door, Mr. Door, Mr. Door. Don't screw with me, Mr. Door. Don't screw with me. All right, doors are a bit on the... There it goes. It's a really, really stiff joint, and I had to pop up a corner of this guy, the lid, in order to get that in there. But once that's in there, that's good. So let's go ahead and pull this open, and we're going to pull the driver out. I'm going to use the fact that I opened the front windshield to assist me in doing this, because this guy is a little taller than the driver door. It is a bit of a... Your helmet popped off. It is a bit of a pain to get him out and into his vehicle. Putting that lid on there was not a smart move this early in the video, but we got it. He even has his backpack on still. Excellent. Now get his legs out. Come on. You can do it, my friend. You can squeeze out. There we go. He sits in there very well, but it's just getting him out, which is the pain. Where did your helmet go? Where did your helmet go, Mr. Cobra driver? Where's your helmet? All right. Let's line you up and set you down. Straighten that up. Set you standing there. Let me find your helmet. It's in here somewhere. Where's your helmet? Not there. Found it. Okay. So, first off, this is a unique kit bash. Let me go ahead and close that. Alright, so this guy's a unique kit bash of the Cobra officer and the Cobra infantry. He's got a Cobra infantry head. He seems to have Cobra infantry legs, but his core body is a Cobra officer, even down to his accessories of the belt. This guy's got the Cobra officer gun with holster, with the backpack holster thing. That's really fun. It's actually, it's really solid in there. I enjoy it. I think it's a really nice accessory. He also comes with a pistol that goes on the side. The gun, I wanted to mention, is a gun that is, it's a little rubbery, but this is one of the stiffer guns that we've gotten. Yeah, his gun is stiff. It's one of the stiffer guns that we've gotten in the past time that we, in the past year. Most of everything's been pretty bad. He's got a little thing on his arm to represent, a little tabard representing that he is indeed an officer. And I don't know why they're always upside down like that. I gotta pull it off and flip it around to put it where that strap is up, further up his arm, and then this thing hangs down. It's so weird that it pops up like that. Now, nothing texture-wise is different about him. He's just got blends of the Cobra infantry in the legs and the arms, and the Cobra officer in the little tabard thing and the core body. Interestingly enough, and this is how I figured out he's Cobra infantry, because I have the Cobra officer here on the other side. Let me go ahead and open this door. Pop that open with my fingertip. Come in here, Mr. Cobra officer. I need your helmet. Sir, I need your helmet. All right. So here is the Cobra officer helmet. It's got a little tabard on it. And we pull this guy off, and we put on the Cobra officer helmet, and it doesn't fit quite so well. It fits on there, but it is very loose. in comparison to this helmet. Like, it still is kind of tight, but this helmet, you get that on there, that is tight. Like, that is an obvious detail. So the way I see it, this guy is of the E4 variety, or maybe even a sergeant in the Cobra Infantry, and the officer is a lieutenant or something. Nuts! I dropped the helmet. And the helmet rolled around inside the vehicle. You know, we're gonna have to pull this guy out anyway, so let's just go ahead and do that now, so I can talk about the interior of the vehicle. I don't need you, sir. Messing up this place. Where's your gun? Here's your gun bag and your gun. And where's your helmet? Where's your helmet? Oh, nuts. Where did that helmet go? Oh, it fell into the driver's side. There we go. Okay, we pulled out your helmet. I love these helmets. And set it back on the officer. Another part that's different between the Cobra driver and the officers, the driver does not come with the little flashlight that you plugged into the side of the gun. He does come with his banana clip and the extra SMG, which I did store over here. He's got his extra SMG. It's now in the vehicle. It's now in the foot compartment. Aha! Here we go. And it is a sturdy, solid plastic gun, not like the rifle, which is a little bendy. This thing is solid plastic. Even the extra ammunition part is solid plastic, but this is that fun little submachine gun that doesn't have a second handle, and the ammunition kind of sticks out of the side in a weird little way. Still, a cool gun. I like it. I think it's a neat little gun. Now, that's all that's different with the officer. There's not much more to talk about him. I've talked about the Cobra Infantry, and I've talked about the Cobra officers in depth. Check out my G.I. Joe Classified Series playlist for that. This thing also comes with a fire extinguisher in the same place the fire extinguisher was at before. But now let's talk about the interior before closing it up and giving you my final thoughts. The interior is the same exact interior as the Vamp. There's not much different. Everything is the same, down to the texture of the seats, to the texture of the front wheel, the steering wheel, to the gauges. Everything in here is exactly the same, except for the doors and the roof. My overall rating of this really fun vehicle is, I'm going to give this guy a solid 10 out of 10. There is, other than the handrail in the back, I can't think of anything. No, this is a 10 out of 10. I love this thing, and this thing and the Vamp and the Dragonfly are all going to be chasing after each other for the best possible position at the end of the year. I guarantee it. These are going to show up in the top 3 unless something cooler comes out. But I'm just floored by how simply, how this changes after just changing a few pieces around, and how much of a different vehicle it feels after just moving a few pieces around. But I've blathered on long enough to you about the G.I. Joe Classified Night Stinger. Go and get one for yourself, or watch other YouTubers talk more in-depthly about it than me. I've been Blind Prime. This sleepy guy's been Cream the Cat, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.